This tiny 1 centimeter gland decides how tall you grow, when puberty kicks in, how your body handles stress, and even how much water your kidneys keep or release. It's tiny, but it quietly controls almost every major hormone in your body. And yes, for students watching, this is one of those topics that keeps showing up in exams because it connects to so many body systems. So let's understand it properly, once and for all. How does something this small act like the boss of your entire endocrine system? Let's break the pituitary gland down in the simplest and most exam-friendly way. The pituitary gland is an ovoid structure, about 0.5 grams in adults, and sits at the base of your brain, right under the hypothalamus. It is connected through the brain through a short stalk known as infundibular. Think of it as a mini control room that receives signals from the hypothalamus and sends out hormone instructions to the rest of your body. Now let's learn pituitary's two main lobes. Once you understand their difference, everything becomes clear. The pituitary has two main lobes. One of them is anterior pituitary lobe, that is the master gland, and second one is posterior pituitary lobe. Anterior pituitary lobe. This is the larger front lobe and is responsible for synthesizing and releasing several important hormones. This lobe secretes major hormones. One of them is somatotrophin-releasing hormone. This hormone is basically responsible for the human growth. This hormone releases through hypothalamus throughout the life. Firstly, it is responsible for the growth till adolescence, and after that, it became responsible for the protein synthesis. Second important hormone secreted by anterior lobe is thyroid-stimulating hormone. It stimulates the thyroid gland to release thyroxine. When there is low amount of thyroxine, a production of TSS increases. Third important hormone is adrenocorticotropic hormone, which activates the adrenal cortex to release cortisol and other stress hormones. It is controlled by steroid levels. Excess and deficiency results in disturbance of adrenal functions. Another important hormone is follicle-stimulating hormone, which helps in the development of follicles and secretion of estrogen from the ovaries in females, while in males, it stimulates the sperm production. Luteinizing hormone, LH, is also one of the hormones secreted by anterior lobe of pituitary gland, which triggers ovulation in females and testosterone production in males. It works with FSH and stimulates the estrogen production and rupture the mature follicle to release eggs. The last hormone is prolactin, which stimulates milk production in breastfeeding mothers. Posterior pituitary lobe. The posterior pituitary does not produce hormones. It stores and releases hormones made by the hypothalamus. Hormones released by this lobe are Kelvid. First one is antidiuretic hormone, also known as vasopressin, which maintains water balance. Its secretion is caused by low blood pressure, blood volume, and osmotic pressure. And second one is oxytocin, which controls childbirth contractions, milk ejection, emotional bonding. Pituitary gland is also called the master gland because it controls the activity of many major endocrine glands, including thyroid gland, adrenal glands, ovaries, and testes. Through its hormones, it regulates growth, metabolism, stress response, reproduction, lactation, and water balance. Without pituitary control, the entire endocrine system becomes imbalanced. There are some disorders related to this gland, like giantism or acromegaly, which is caused by excess growth hormones, dwarfism, stunted growth, which is caused by deficient growth hormones. Low vasopressin causes excessive urination and dehydration, while FSH, LLH imbalance causes reproductive and puberty problems. So now let's take a quick recap of this chapter. Pituitary gland is the tiny gland at the base of the brain, also called as the master gland. It has two parts, anterior, which makes hormones, and posterior, which stores hormones. It controls growth, stress, metabolism, reproduction, and water balance. If you remember this much, any exam question on the pituitary becomes easy. So that's the pituitary gland, a tiny boss controlling some of the biggest decisions your body makes.
If you still get confused about hormones, or you haven't watched my Hormone Basics video yet, don't skip it. It'll clear up half your chapter in just a few minutes. Click the video on your screen, keep learning, and stay ahead in your exams.
See you in the next chapter.